Welcome back, Patriots, for a special episode of the Bald Brad Show, where we will be tuning in to Kamala Harris's first interview in 40 days as the Democrat presidential nominee. Now, realistically, she hasn't done an interview, hell, since what, June or something like that? July, some crazy bonkers numbers, while her boss is on the beaches of Delaware kicking his little feet in the sand. This is fun. So we're going to be tuning in. They're on a commercial break right now. Let me tell you, CNN is already losing their ish. You guys, I'm watching this. It's on a commercial right now. I'm watching this in high definition. Yo, a whole panel is losing it over Donald Trump visiting Arlington Cemetery on the anniversary of the Afghanistan pullout, where 13 service members got blown to bits because the terrible job of leadership the Democrats have done, where Kamala Harris brags that she was last in the room. Their panties are in a bunch. Don't worry. When we cut back to it, you'll see. But it's good seeing y'all. We got Robert in here. The interview's going to go live in about 7 minutes. I see it, Jason, Kathleen, Cece, Donnie. Jeff's in here. Good to see you, Jeff. Kathleen. We got a lot of people. We got Autumn over here. Autumn, I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Are you over at YouTube, or you tend to come in Rumble? I feel like I haven't seen you. And Lily, too. We got like the OGs in here. The OGs of the Bald Brad Show. Couldn't be more than happy to have you all with us. Yeah. Brad, are you drinking coffee again? Yes, I'm drinking coffee. Javi's in here. Holy lordy. What's going on, Javi? Javi, I miss you. Everything's good, my friend. Everything's good. Got a nice cup of Java. Got the good stuff. You guys know I'm always drinking coffee. That's why we plug 1775. Jeff, Danielle, Brad, that's me. Yes, ma'am. Rumble, I had to drive to Tucson and back. Holy Lord, that is a drive. Tucson and back to where? To where? Again, they're just on commercial break over here at CNN, folks. I got it queued up. We're ready to go for this interview. Now, let's be fair. You know she got the questions ahead of time. You know she did. There's no way in hell CNN's letting her walk into this without having the questions prepared, rehearsed. I don't think there's going to be a single hardball question here, folks. You let me know. Would you think there's going to be a single one? It's CNN. Nah. Eric Birch already out of the gates, brother. Already out of the gates. We just started live streaming. It hasn't even been 10 minutes with the $2. Thank you so much, sir. Hey, Patriot family. Doesn't it feel good saying that? Patriot family. It's exactly what this community is all about. This edited and scripted interview. Yeah. Okay, can we break down? I was going to save it for later. Can we break down some rumors that I've heard? I've heard allegedly the interview is only 18 minutes long, and they're not taping the whole thing. They won't release the entire transcript. Folks, when I hear things like that, I wasn't a great actor. I didn't do anything that was big time, nothing like that. When I hear the things that I'm hearing about this, it tells me scripted. It tells me that it's planned. It tells me that there's not the hardball questions. If it truly is 18 minutes, that is freaking wild. What the hell messaging can you get across in 18 minutes? We will see, but Javi, I agree, brother. I agree. This edited and scripted interview. Let's see what all, I'm going to bring up this screen here. Just ordered the 1775 today because I got paid. That's what I love to see, Kathleen. Let me know. Let me know how it is. Jerry loves it. Like I'm not kidding. It's good. The dark roast. Jerry gets the medium. I love the Bald Brad family. Right back at you, Lily. Brandy's sick. Brandy says, I've been sick, but happy to catch you. I hope you feel better. Get some tea. Get a little bit of honey mixed in there if you can. I hope you feel better. Get some rest. That's what's a lot of people are sick right now. A lot of people are sick. Here we go. Here we're back at CNN. Let's hear them with their panties in a bunch.
The former president has just weighed in on some of the portions we've shown of it.
And I just saw her, Tulsi, on...
That's weird. It's not showing for me.
Doing this interview. And
hold on a second.
I haven't seen the question.
Weird. Ooh. That is so weird. Look at you guys. It won't play, but it's playing on my screen. What the heck? Let's see if you guys can hear
Negotiating with
it.
President.
You can hear it. What? Well, that's unexpected. Are they blocking it? I was not expecting that. Hasn't happened before. Cause I can watch it. Yo, I'm watching it right now. Look, you guys saw it, right? We were showing the whole thing with the advertisements. What's going on here? What kind of F-freeze happened here? What? Okay. Let's try this out then. I've never seen that before. That's wild. That's bonkers. I wonder if they're able to block it. Let's see. Let's see here. Give me a second, folks. What? I'm just going to play a... This is crazy. Yo, what? I wonder if anybody else is having issues. Shadow ban? Yeah. That definitely is true, Robert. That's what's... Dude, our channel last night, you guys, I look at the analytics. We got 53 views last night on our entire channel with 65,000 subscribers. 53 views in an hour. Yeah. It's normal. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see if we can get it live for you, folks. But that was a little bonkers. Let's see, does this show? See, this shows. Yo, I've never seen anything like this, y'all. On Rumble. Hey, good to see ya, Bats. Nice to be here. Good evening, everybody. Look, we're trying to figure this out. CNN is like not letting us stream the freaking Kamala Harris interview.
Now, the Trump campaign has put out a statement on Florida's ballot initiative.
All right, let me figure this out.
Quote,
we'll watch this while
President
we're...
Trump has not yet said how he will vote on the ballot initiative in Florida. He simply reiterated he believes 6 weeks is too short. So he mentioned that in that exchange, brief exchange, a pull-aside with an NBC News reporter, saying he thinks abortion laws that are 6 weeks are too short. So that is quite something for someone of Donald Trump's relationship with evangelical Christians, that community of voters, the pro-life movement, to say that 6 weeks is too short. There's somewhat of a departure there on that stance and policy when it comes to the former president.
Oh,
remember,
okay, thank you. Dylan's in here. Shout out to Dylan. Thank you. I'm trying to figure out, isn't that bonkers? Saying looks like other critters are having the same issue. I've never seen this before. Wonder if sharing your screen will work for sharing the Chrome window. No, see, folks, that's why Rumble's the greatest, right? Dylan, who works for Rumble, is in here trying to take care of us right now. You don't get that from YouTube, folks. Let me see. Let me do this. Let's do CNN. So I am technically sharing the screen right now. But I love that everybody could see this, though. The foosery that's going on. Oh, here we go. Hold on a second. Let me do this off screen. It's having me do something. No, give me a break. I don't know. Here, let me go back to this.
Being with us here, I'm going to come
Give me 1 second, folks.
as well.
Give
Welcome
me
all
1
of you to
second.
a new hour here on Live Now. We have a lot in store, a lot of top headlines still to tell, and we're going to get to them as well. We want to focus some of our efforts on some of these major crime headlines as well, with the story that we have followed so extensively here from the very beginning since November.
I don't know why they're doing this. Let's see. So it's not working. But we can listen to it for the time being. Hold on.
I sat down with the Democratic candidate for president and her running mate today at Kim's Cafe here in Savannah. Inside, nothing was off the table, and you will see our interview in its entirety. The vice president's first as her party's standard bearer, responding to her critics and answering our questions. Welcome on board. Thank you. It's good to see you. This is not where Vice President Harris thought she would be. We're going to Georgia.
Well.
Yes. 7th trip there this year for me.
A surprise nominee for president just months from Election Day. Set in motion after a stunning debate.
Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Some within your own party are wondering if President Biden should even step aside. What do you say to that?
There was a slow start, but it was a strong finish.
All right, we're tuning into
an extraordinary decision.
I've decided the best
Benny
way
Johnson's
forward
stream.
is to pass the torch to a new generation.
Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate it, brother. Glad you're here,
Usually
baby.
takes years of planning, coming together in a matter of weeks. After a historic nomination at the convention in Chicago,
On behalf of everyone whose story could only be written in the greatest nation on
Dan
earth.
said audio would be better than looking at her face
I accept
anyways.
your nomination to be president of the United States of America.
That was good.
the Harris Walz ticket is now pushing forward with the shortest presidential campaign in modern history.
What did you hear from voters here? People are very optimistic.
We joined them on the trail as they visited the battleground of Georgia. Just 68 days from the election. Madam Vice President, Governor Walz, thank you so much for sitting down with me and bringing the bus. Bus tour is well underway here in Georgia. You have less time to make your case to voters than any candidate in modern American history. The voters are really eager to hear what your plans are. If you are elected, what would you do on day one in the White House?
Well, there are a number of things. I will tell you, first and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. When I look at the aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the American people, I think that people are ready for a new way forward, in a way that generations of Americans have been fueled by hope and by optimism. I think, sadly, in the last decade, we have had in the former president someone who has really been pushing an agenda and an environment that is about diminishing the character and the strength of who we are as Americans, really dividing our nation. And I think people are ready to turn the page on that.
So what would you do day one?
Day one, it's going to be about, one, implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy. I've already laid out a number of proposals in that regard, which include what we're going to do to bring down the cost of everyday goods, what we're going to do to invest in America's small businesses, what we're going to do to invest in families. For example, extending the child tax credit to $6,000 for families for the first year of their child's life, to help them buy a car seat, to help them buy baby clothes, a crib. There's the work that we're going to do that is about investing in the American family around affordable housing, a big issue in our country right now. So there are a number of things on day one.
What about you?
Well, I'm excited about this agenda too. As I said, the idea of inspiring America to what can be. And I think many of these things that the vice president's proposing are things that we share in values. And the child tax credit is one we know that reduces childhood poverty by a third. We did it in Minnesota to have a federal partner in this. Unbelievable, I think, in the impact that we can make.
You talked about, you call it the opportunity economy. You are well aware that right now many Americans are struggling. There's a crisis of affordability. One of your campaign themes is we're not going back. But I wonder what you say to voters who do want to go back when it comes to the economy specifically, because their groceries were less expensive. Housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Well, let's start with the fact that when Joe Biden and I came in office, during the height of a pandemic, we saw over 10 million jobs were lost. People, I mean, literally, we were all tracking the numbers. Hundreds of people a day were dying because of COVID. The economy had crashed. In large part, all of that because of mismanagement by Donald Trump of that crisis.
Wow.
When we came in, our highest priority was to do what we could to rescue America. And today, we know that we have inflation at under 3%. A lot of our policies have led to the reality that America recovered faster than any wealthy nation around the world. But you are right. Prices, in particular for groceries, are still too high. The American people know it, I know it, which is why my agenda includes what we need to do to bring down the price of groceries. For example, dealing with an issue like price gouging, what we need to do to extend the child tax credit to help young families be able to take care of their children in their most formative years, what we need to do to bring down the cost of housing. My proposal includes what would be a tax credit of $25,000 for first-time home buyers, so they can just have enough to put a down payment on a home, which is part of the American dream and their aspiration, but do it in a way that allows them to actually get on the path to achieving that goal and that dream.
So you have been vice president for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
The steps that you're talking about now, why haven't you done them already?
Thank you.
Well, first of all, we had to recover as an economy, and we have done that. I'm very proud of the work that we have done that has brought inflation down to less than 3%. The work that we have done to cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. Donald Trump said he was going to do a number of things, including allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices. Never happened. We did it. So now, as I travel in the state of Georgia and around our country, the number of seniors that have benefited. I was in Nevada recently, a grandmother who showed me her receipts.
Why do I do this to myself?
And before we capped the cost of insulin for seniors at $35 a month, she was paying hundreds of dollars, up to thousands of dollars a month for her insulin.
How about everybody else?
She's not doing that anymore.
You maintain Bidenomics is a success.
I maintain that when we do the work of bringing down prescription medication for the American people, including capping the cost of the annual cost of prescription medication for seniors at $2,000, when we do what we did in the first year of being in office to extend the child tax credit so that we cut child poverty in America by over 50%, when we do what we have done to invest in the American people and bringing manufacturing back to the United States so that we created over 800,000 new manufacturing jobs, bringing business back to America, what we have done to improve the supply chain so we're not relying on foreign governments to supply American families with their basic needs. Bullshit. I'll say that that's good work. There's more to do, but that's good work.
I want to get some clarity on where you stand on some key policy issues. Energy is a big one. When you were in Congress, you supported the Green New Deal. And in 2019, you said, quote, "There is no question I'm in favor of banning fracking." Fracking, as you know, is a pretty big issue, particularly in your must-win state of Pennsylvania.
Sure.
Do you still want to ban fracking?
No, and I made that clear on the debate stage in 2020.
What changed?
That I would not ban fracking. As vice president, I did not ban fracking. As president, I will not ban fracking.
Wow.
You're lying! 2019, I believe, in a town hall,
That's Benny Johnson,
you were asked, would you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking on your first day in office? And you said, there's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So yes. So it changed in that campaign?
In 2020, I made very clear where I stand. We are in 2024, and I've not changed that position, nor will I going forward. I kept my word, and I will keep my word.
What made you change that position at the time?
Well, let's be clear. My values have not changed. I believe it is very important that we take seriously what we must do to guard against what is a clear crisis in terms of the climate. And to do that, we can do what we have accomplished thus far. The Inflation Reduction Act, what we have done to invest, by my calculation, over probably $1 trillion over the next 10 years, investing in a clean energy economy. What we've already done, creating over 300,000 new clean energy jobs. That tells me from my experience as vice president, we can do it without banning fracking. In fact, Dana, excuse me, I cast the tie-breaking vote.
You got her name wrong.
That actually increased leases
almost
for
spit out
fracking
my
as vice
coffee.
president. So I'm very clear about where I stand.
And was there some policy or scientific data that you saw that you said, oh, okay, I get it now?
What I have seen is that we can grow and we can increase a thriving clean energy economy without banning fracking.
Another issue, big one, is immigration. As vice president, you were tasked with addressing the root causes of migration in southern countries and
Northern part of Central America.
the northern part of Central America that affects the southern border of the U.S. During the Biden-Harris administration, there were record numbers of illegal border crossings. Why did the Biden-Harris administration wait 3.5 years to implement sweeping asylum restrictions?
Well, first of all, the root causes work that I did as vice president that I was asked to do by the president
You're the
has
border
actually
czar.
resulted in a number of benefits, including historic investments by American businesses in that region. The number of immigrants coming from that region has actually reduced since we began that work. But I will say this, that Joe Biden and I and our administration worked with members of the United States Congress on an immigration issue that is very significant to the American people and to our security, which is the border.
Wow.
And through bipartisan work, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, a bill was crafted, which we supported, which I support. And Donald Trump got word
Oh, it's his
of
fault.
this bill
There we
that
go.
would have contributed to securing our border. And because
Donald Trump's
he
fault for
believes
everything.
that it
Give
would
me a
not
break.
have helped him politically, he told his folks in Congress, don't put it forward. He killed the bill. A border security bill that would have put 1,500 more agents on the border. And let me tell you something, the Border Patrol endorsed the bill. And I'm sure in large part because they knew they were working around
Notice
the
there's no
clock,
pushback.
and 1,500 more agents would help them. That bill would have allowed us to increase seizures of fentanyl. Ask any community in America that has been devastated by fentanyl.
Why are they being
What
devastated,
passing that bill
Kamala?
would have done to address their concern,
The border's
and
open.
pain that they've
So you would-
experienced.
So you would push that legislation again. I just want to
Not
ask
only
about
push it, I will make sure that it comes to my desk and I would sign it.
just one other question about
You-
something that you said in 2019 when you first ran. There was a debate. You raised your hand when asked whether or not the border should be decriminalized. Do you still believe that?
I believe there should be consequence. We have laws that have to be followed and enforced that address and deal with people who cross our border illegally. And there
Then why
should
are
be
you not doing
consequence.
it?
And let's be clear, in this race, I'm the only person who has prosecuted transnational criminal
Oh,
organizations
stop
who
it.
traffic in guns, drugs, and human beings. I'm the only person in this race who actually served a border state as Attorney General to enforce our laws. And I would enforce our laws as president going forward.
Why are you not
I
doing it
recognize
now?
the problem.
Generally speaking, how should voters look at some of the changes that you've made, that you've explained some of here in your policy? Is it because you have more experience now and you've learned more about the information? Is it because you were running for president in a Democratic primary? And should they feel comfortable and confident that what you're saying now is going to be your policy moving forward?
Dana, I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed. You mentioned the Green New Deal. I have always believed, and I have worked on it, that the climate crisis is real, that it is an urgent matter
Why is he even
to
there?
which we should apply metrics that include holding ourselves to deadlines around time. We did that with the Inflation Reduction Act. We have set goals for the United States of America and by extension the globe around when we should meet certain standards for reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. As an example, that value has not changed. My value around what we need to do to secure our border, that value has not changed. I spent 2 terms as the Attorney General of California prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, violations of American laws regarding the illegal passage of guns, drugs, and human beings across our border. My values have not changed. So that is the reality of it. And 4 years of being vice president, I'll tell you, one of the aspects to your point is traveling the country extensively. I mean, I'm here in Georgia. I think somebody told me 17 times since I've been vice president in Georgia alone. I believe it is important to build consensus. And it is important to find a common place of understanding of where we can actually solve problems.
On that note, you had a lot of Republican speakers at the convention. Will you appoint a Republican to your cabinet?
Yes, I would.
Anyone
Yes,
in
I
mind?
would.
Come
No,
on.
no one in particular in mind. I got it.
Of course you don't.
68 days to go with this
Yeah.
election, so I'm not putting the cart before the horse. But I would. I think
Yeah, sure you would.
I think it's really important.
Not a single one at the top of
my
mind.
career inviting diversity of opinion. I think it's important to have people at the table when some of the most important decisions are being made that have different views, different experiences. And I think it would be to the benefit of the American public to have a member of my cabinet who was a Republican.
That was just the start of our wide-ranging conversation, and we have some never-before-shared details about the phone call that changed everything between President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris.
I'm just curious, staying on President Biden, when he called you and said he was pulling out of the race, what was that like? And did he offer to endorse you right away, or did you ask for it?
It was a Sunday. So here, I'll give you a little too much information.
Go for it. There's no such thing, Madam Vice President.
And her running mate. I asked him about some of the controversies that have sprung up since Harris put him on the ticket.
Governor Walz, the country is just starting to get to know you. I want to ask you a question about how you've described your service in the National Guard. You said that you carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Ooh, boys. Okay. All right.
All right, we'll come back to it, folks. We're not going anywhere. Stick with us. Benny's talking. We're looping into his stream because for some odd reason, I have never seen this before, by the way. They're not allowing us to show CNN. I could see it from my screen when I populate it for you. It won't work, but I'm reading the chat with you. I'm right here with you, Patriots. If you're new to our channel, folks, we go live every single morning, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for the Bald Brad Show. Would love for you to join us, folks, but she's going to sit there and say that her plan to fix the economy and help the middle class is to fix the price of insulin and inhalers? And they're going to give a $6,000 credit to first-time, basically, parents? What about everybody else? Well, we're going to give you $25,000 to buy a house. You get a credit. They can't afford it still. Record high inflation took place, Kamala. People can't afford to buy gas and groceries. So why in God's green earth, if they can't afford gas and groceries, would they go out and buy freaking, I don't know, a house? Like, what the hell? So there's this clip here. We might as well play this while we're waiting. There's this clip right here about the economy. I want to play this. I want to replay it.
I wonder what you say to voters who do want to go back when it comes to the economy specifically, because their groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Well, let's start with the fact that when Joe Biden and I came in office, during the height of a pandemic, we saw over 10 million jobs were lost.
Because the Democrat Party wouldn't open things back up.
I mean, literally, we were all tracking the numbers. Hundreds of people a day were dying because of COVID. The economy had crashed. In large part, all of that because of mismanagement by Donald Trump of that crisis.
Oh, it's mismanagement.
When we came in,
But yet they use that mismanagement to help benefit, right? Which was Operation Warp Speed. That worked wonderfully, but she doesn't want to mention it there because it would give Donald Trump kudos, but they have to blame everything on Donald Trump. She's nothing to blame for anything here, folks. The high inflation, the record gas prices, the foreign wars, the invasion that's happening at the southern border. She complained about fentanyl, but doesn't want to talk about that. Notice no questions about the 250,000 children that Kamala Harris lost. No mention of that. Really remarkable thing. No mention of how the Biden-Harris administration lost 250,000 children to forced labor, to the slave trade, to, well, if you want, I don't even know if it's even trading anymore, but, you know, sex trafficking's one, just being murdered and raped. None of those conversations. And notice there was no interruptions by the interviewer. It's remarkable. But when Donald Trump does interviews, you know, they don't want to look into that.
We have had in the former president someone who has
There you go.
really been pushing an agenda
Trump.
and an environment that is about diminishing the character and the strength of who we are as Americans.
She goes right to Trump. She's asked, what are you going to do since you're technically in power? You're saying the nation's in shambles. We agree. What are you going to do about it? You're the reason it's in shambles. So how are you going to change anything?
Thank you, Benny.
The problem?
Thank
and
you.
And she goes, Trump.
Exactly. Exactly. A dude that has 1 million subscribers.
President Kamala Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. In just 12 days, Harris will meet Donald Trump on a debate stage in Philadelphia. And when I say meet, I mean literally meet. Would you believe they have never talked face to face? The only time they've even been in the same room was when Harris was a senator watching Trump's State of the Union address. Now it's Trump watching Harris on the campaign trail with money and momentum behind her and making her case directly to voters.
As voters are getting to know Kamala Harris, they want answers on how she will make their lives better. She heard that here at Sandfly Barbecue in Savannah.
What we're going to do to increase access to capital for small businesses, I'll be rolling out next week. Part of what we're going to be doing in terms of a tax credit.
On the trail, she talks about her experience, years in the
No
courtroom
details.
as a district attorney and eventually California's attorney general. She wants to reframe the contest as the prosecutor versus the felon.
I know Donald Trump's type. I've been dealing with them my whole
Fake ass
career.
accent.
The former president is turning to a well-defined playbook of personal attacks.
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black.
And in just 12 days, the nominees will meet face-to-face for the first time.
She's not a good debater. She's not a smart person. She doesn't want to debate.
If you got something to say,
I want to ask you about your opponent, Donald Trump. I was a little bit surprised. People might be surprised to hear that you have never interacted with him, met him face to face. That's going to change soon. But what I want to ask you about is what he said last month. He suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes, questioning a core part of your identity.
Yeah.
But unbiased, you guys. Unbiased.
And he's
CNN.
same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
That's it?
No, there's the first cackle.
Okay.
First
Let's talk
cackle.
about some foreign policy issues that would be on your plate if you become commander in chief. President Biden has tried unsuccessfully to end the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. He's been doing it for months and months, along with you. Would you do anything differently? For example, would you withhold some U.S. weapons shipments to Israel? That's what a lot of people on the progressive left want you to do.
Let me be very clear. I am unequivocal and unwavering in my commitment to Israel's defense and its ability to defend itself. And that's not going to change. But let's take a step back. October 7, 1,200 people were massacred. Many young people who were simply attending a music festival. Women were horribly raped. As I said then, I say today, Israel has a right to defend itself. We would. And how it does so matters. Far too many innocent Palestinians have been killed. And we have got to get a deal done. We were in Doha. We have to get a deal done. This war must end.
And in the meantime,
and we must get a deal that is about getting the hostages out I've met with the families of the American hostages. Let's get the hostages out. Let's get the ceasefire done.
But no change in policy in terms of arms and so forth.
No, we have to get a deal done. Dana, we have to get a deal done. When you look at the significance of this to the families, to the people who are living in that region, a deal is not only the right thing to do to end this war, but will unlock so much of what must happen next. I remain committed since I've been on October 8 to what we must do to work toward a two-state solution where Israel is secure and in equal measure, the Palestinians have security and self-determination and dignity.
Governor Walz, the country is just starting to get to know you. I want to ask you a question about how you've described your
Shouldn't you
service
already
in
know
the
your
National
nominees
Guard.
because they're
You
nominated
said
to
that you
be
carried
the
weapons
front runner of your
in war,
party?
but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of wearing the uniform of this country. Equally proud of my service in a public school classroom, whether it's Congress or the governor. My record speaks for itself, but I think people are coming to get to know me. I speak like they do. I speak candidly. I wear my emotions on my sleeves, and I speak especially passionately about our children being shot in schools and around guns. So I think people know me. They know who I am. They know where my heart is. And again, my record has been out there for over 40 years to speak for itself.
And
you didn't answer the
idea
question.
that you said that you were in war.
Exactly.
Did you misspeak as the campaign has said?
Yeah, I said we were talking about, in this case, this was after a school shooting, the ideas of carrying these weapons of war. And my wife, the English you told my grammar's not always correct. But again, if it's not this, it's an attack on my children for showing love for me, or it's an attack on my dog. I'm not going to do that. And the one thing I'll never do is I'll never demean another member's service in any way. I never have, and I never will.
I just one other question, because again, this is all new.
Yeah.
I mean, this was not however many
no
days
answer.
ago. This
No,
was
no
not
answer.
on either
Correct.
of your bingo cards, especially yours. You had to clarify that you had said that you and your wife used IVF, but it turned out you used a different kind of fertility in order to have children. And then when you ran for Congress in 2006, your campaign repeatedly made false statements about a 1995 arrest for drunk and reckless driving.
Wow.
Jeez.
What do you say to voters who aren't sure whether they can take you at your word?
Oh my God.
Well, I've been very public. I think they can see my students come out, former folks I've served with, and they vouch for me. I certainly own my mistakes when I make them. The one thing I'll tell you is I wished in this country wouldn't have to do this. I spoke about our infertility issues because it's hell, and families know this. And I spoke about the treatments that were available to us that had those beautiful children there. That's quite a contrast in folks that are trying to take those rights away from us. And so I think people know who I am. They know that record. They've seen that. I've taught thousands of students. I've been out there, and I won't apologize for speaking passionately, whether it's guns in schools or protecting of reproductive rights. The contrast could not be clearer between what we're running against. The vice president's position on this has been clear. And I think most Americans get it if you've been through that. I don't think they're cutting hairs on IVF or IUI. I think what they're cutting hairs on is an abortion ban and the ability to be able to deny families the chance to have a beautiful child.
Up next, the moment that changed everything when Kamala Harris got a phone call from President Biden that he was dropping out of the race.
It was a Sunday, so here I'll give you a little too much information.
Go for it. There's no such thing, Madam Vice President.
My family was staying with us, and including my baby nieces.
Speaking of those baby nieces, the vice president also opens up about a viral picture from the convention that meant so much to so many. And Tim Walz talks about that convention moment with his son that brought many viewers to tears.
You were speaking, the camera caught him, so incredibly proud of you, so emotional, saying, "That's my dad."
Yeah, I don't know as a father I could have ever imagined that.
Now, I think his son, if I remember correctly, has some sort of disability. And that's not like me trying to make a joke out of it or anything like that, but that's what we've heard. I have not read into it, so I'll take it as truth. It's like it's exhausting because the amount of either non-answers or where they're trying to lead this country is, quite frankly, a little confusing. Well, we're going to get $25,000 credit here, but yet you give illegal aliens all this money, but yet you're supposed to help the middle class, even though you're going to give us $25,000 to help us buy a house, but yet there's 30 million illegal aliens here that are competing for those same houses. So there's no fix in terms of, I don't know, fixing the demand on housing because you've allowed so many illegal aliens to be here. No questions about crime. You notice that? No questions about, hey, how come you're allowing all these people to rape and murder our women and children, Kamala? Hey, how about what's going on at the southern border? Speaking of the height of COVID and how terrible it was. Hey, why were you packing, I don't know, illegal immigrants like sardines in these cages and in these cells at the border when you were only allowed to have, I don't know, 100 people in those pods, but yet you were smashing them full of 200, 250. Sometimes it was 300. So it's remarkable how there's no real hardball questions. Y'all notice that this lady, Dana Bash, which Kamala got her name wrong. Okay, I can't believe that happened. We're just waiting for the commercial break, folks. If you're just joining us, we'll be back with the CNN, scripted news, if that's what you want to call it. It's just remarkable how it all just gets let go. Hey, can we talk about your time as, a DA, also senator of the state of California, how you drove that into the ground? Hey, Kamala, how exactly do you plan on fixing all these foreign policies? And again, no follow-up on why she didn't answer the question of, hey, why haven't you done any of this now? She gave us some roundabout thing. I love the fact that she's like, well, we decreased the cost of insulin to $35 and your inhalers are cheaper. That's your plan for fixing the middle class? That's your plan to make things cheaper? That's your plan? And she's going to go on about fracking? Again, folks, we're just waiting for it to come back right now. We're stealing Benny's stream, and hopefully they're cool with it. I didn't even ask. I apologize, Benny, if your people are watching this. Thank you so much, sir. Because CNN won't let us stream it. We tried. It's bonkers. What do you all think of, what do you all think of this in the chat? I see y'all in there. It's absolutely disgusting, Brad. Absolutely, Robert. 100% agree. Jeff says there has been no solutions to any of these problems. They're doing circles around these questions. Couldn't agree with you more, fellow patriot. Thank you, Jeff. Well, Donnie says here, yeah, 24 years and he quit right before it was time to go to battle. Absolutely. And don't worry, he carried those weapons in the war. Now, I'm not a veteran. I never served, but I don't think it's really a great thing to embellish your record like that. But, you sit there and go actually support the troops like Donald Trump did, and CNN has their panties all in a bunch, and that happened a little bit earlier today. We have SleeperNet saying, why are we going back to the Middle East with our Navy? We already have them tanks and planes. Are we going to leave our ships too? Great question. We gave them billions of dollars, which that won't be brought up, right? The Afghanistan pullout. Hey, why'd you leave military-grade equipment to the Taliban?
Democratic presidential and vice presidential nominees, Vice President Kamala Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. It's hard to believe it was just 39 days ago President Biden shocked the world via tweet. That's how we found out he was dropping his re-election bid. But before he tweeted the news, Biden called his vice president. And for the first time, we are hearing about that phone call and exactly what Kamala Harris was doing when she answered. But we started this discussion with the moment that set all of this in motion, CNN's presidential debate, and whether President Biden was strong enough to lead this nation again.
Vice President Harris, you were a very staunch defender of President Biden's capacity to serve another 4 years. Right after the debate, you insisted that President Biden is extraordinarily strong. Given where we are now, do you have any regrets about what you told the American people?
No, not at all. Not at all. I have served with President Biden for almost 4 years now, and I'll tell you, it's one of the greatest honors of my career, truly. He cares so deeply about the American people. He is smart and loyal to the American people. And I have spent hours upon hours with him, be it in the Oval Office or the Situation Room. He has the intelligence, the commitment, and the judgment and disposition that I think the American people rightly deserve in their president. By contrast, the former president has none of that. And so, one,
she's serious.
I am so proud to have served as vice president to Joe Biden. And two, I am so proud to be running with Tim Walz for president of the United States and to bring America what I believe the American people deserve, which is a new way forward, and turn the page on the last decade of what I believe has been contrary to where the spirit of our country really lies.
But the last decade, of course, the last 3.5 years has been part of your administration.
I'm talking about an era that started about a decade ago.
Yeah, because we don't want to talk about the last 4 years.
Warped, I believe it to be. That the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, instead of where I believe most Americans are, which is to believe that the true measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you lift up. That's what's at stake as much as any other detail that we could discuss in this election.
I'm sorry.
Because
I didn't know my mic was
we
on.
haven't had a chance to talk. I'm just curious, staying on President Biden, when he called you and said he was pulling out of the race, what was that like? And did he offer to endorse you right away, or did you ask for it?
It was a Sunday, so here I'll give you a little too much information.
Go for it. There's no such thing, Madam Vice President.
My family was staying with us, and including my baby nieces, and we had just had.
She's trying to formulate an answer. She doesn't have a clue.
And, you know, Auntie, can I have more bacon? Yes, I'll make you more bacon. And then we were sitting down to do a puzzle. And the phone rang, and it was Joe Biden. And he told me what he had decided to do. And I asked him, "Are you sure?" And he said yes. And
as she's hanging out with the daggers in Joe Biden's back,
how I learned about it.
And what about the endorsement? Did you ask for it?
And he was very clear that he was going to support me.
So when he called to tell you, he said, "I'm pulling out of the race and I'm going to support you."
Well, my first thought was not about me, to be honest with you. My first thought was about him.
Come on.
To be honest.
Sure it was. Yeah.
I think history is going to show a number of things about Joe Biden's presidency.
Yeah. Oh, it will.
I think history is going to show.
Yes, it will.
That in so many ways it was transformative, be it on what we have accomplished around finally investing in America's infrastructure, investing in new economies, in new industries, what we have done to bring our allies back together and have confidence in who we are as America
They were
and
laughing
grow
at
that
us.
alliance. What we have done to stand true to our principles, including the one of the most important international rules and norms, which is the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity. And I think history is going to show not only has Joe Biden led an administration that has achieved those extraordinary successes, but the character of the man is one that he has been in his life and career, including as a president, quite selfless and puts the American people first.
Oh, this is so bad.
Passionate defense of the man who chose her to be his running mate 4 years ago. 4 years later, Harris made a choice of her own. And with Governor Walz's rise to national prominence, a star was born at the convention, Gus Walz. We'll hear about that moment between father and son, and the woman who could make history in the Oval Office on this iconic photo.
Notice there's, again, I'm going to keep emphasizing this. Notice there's no interruptions. Notice that there's nothing of the sort of really, I don't know, hey, you didn't answer my question, so can we go back? It's edited, by the way. It's all edited and scripted, possibly. I wouldn't be surprised. You could sit there and actually figure this out in terms of, hey, we'll give you another go at it. But they kept going. I mean, it's pre-taped. You could just sit there and go, hey, you didn't answer the question. Just yell all the time in the world. You could keep prying her until she answers it, and then that's what you put in there, but she won't do it. oh, we were sitting around the coffee table and making pancakes, and I got a phone call. No clue that he was going to bow out. Really? But yet, remember, you guys, they're in constant communication, according to Karine Jean-Pierre. You actually can't get them. They're so inseparable that she leaves meetings. She's the last one in there. We're supposed to believe they're so close that she had no fucking idea that that guy was going to bounce out of the race. Give me a break. Give me a break. I don't believe one bit. Sorry, folks, for those that are listening. You got kids around. Tell them not to cuss. It's not good, kids. But I don't understand what she's talking about. Nobody, she doesn't even understand, Johnny. She has no idea what the hell she's talking about. And I'm sure even the reporter doesn't know either. Edited, scripted ad for the Dems, 100% sure, infuriating. Yeah, absolutely, Kreger. I see you, brother. I see you guys. This administration has no respect for our military. Can we do a callback here? You know, speaking of circle back, can we do a callback of the whole idea? Let's make sure Benny's not jumping in here.
Have never deployed, actually.
Yeah. Can we do a callback of the fact that Joe Biden made our military sleep in a parking garage? You guys all remember that? And then they handed out cookies? I mean, this is early on. This is going back years. They don't want to talk about that. Or the fact that you sat there and made our Marines, I believe it was the Marines, that were at the airport in Afghanistan pick up trash. Have you guys all heard that reporting? That the Taliban sat there and said the airport was too dirty. So these guys that are in uniform, meaning our guys, that actually fought for our country, the administration, yes, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden ordered those guys to go pick up trash. And a lot of them sat there and dropped out of the military after that took place. Disrespectful. The Taliban's going to tell us what to do? Of course they are, because that's what you get when you have Democrats in office. Wild. Wild. We're not done yet, folks. We got a ways to go here. We're just on a commercial break right now over at CNN. We are streaming into his Benny Johnson's stream because, well, they won't allow us to stream it, folks. And they, meaning CNN, don't know what's going on. They're blocking it from us. Brad, go in your rants. You are allowed. I'm trying to be good right now. Trying to be good.
It's not the question.
Yeah, he's still going. Okay. I just want to make sure because I'm looking at the chat, but I don't know when they're going to jump in here. Did he have an umbrella to take? Oh, the beach. Yeah. It was a coup. Yeah, absolutely. Democrats won't say that. A lot of these people go, oh, well, you know, technically it's not a coup because of this and that. It's like, come on. I hate when talking about people when they go, well, you know, according to the definition of this and that, you could say that ultimately it wasn't a coup. It's like, learn how to breathe out of your nose, man. Come on. Come on, man. Jay Fizzle My Nizzle says, word salad will, while Tampon Tim sits awkward. Thank you. Yeah, he does, right? Like, he's just sitting there. Why are you there? Weird. It's weird, dude. You clearly don't understand what goes on in the military. Active duty cleans constantly. Yeah, I do understand what goes on in the military, considering my grandfather was in World War II, and my dad was on a destroyer as well. Doesn't give the right of the Taliban, a foreign enemy, to sit there and tell us what the fuck to do. Are you out of your mind? You're gonna listen, G Miller. You really think that it's okay for the foreign people that killed military men and women on the American side of the aisle to go tell us to pick up trash? Are you insane? Wild, dude.
Far from just being Mr. Nice Guy when it comes to needling Donald Trump.
That's insane. That's insane.
Governor, you obviously have spoken to voters all over your state for years.
Yeah.
What are you learning in a place like Georgia?
We're seeing explosion in small business growth. The one thing is workforce and childcare, because workers have to have childcare.
Campaigning with Tim Walz.
Don't do it.
Finding his role in this historic campaign.
Would you be my running mate and let's get this thing on the road?
I would be honored, Madam Vice President.
After bursting onto the national stage with this word.
These guys are just weird.
Known as a folksy father of two from rural America, now a running mate who is not holding back.
Listen to the guy. He's talking about Hannibal Lecter and shocking sharks and just whatever crazy thing pops into his mind.
and finding his own rhythm with his new boss.
What'd you order? Brisket and greens and mac and cheese.
What about you?
I had the brisket and coleslaw on this.
And what about the spice situation, the Tabasco? What's happening with that?
I'm going to let him speak for himself.
The vice president's growing peppers at her residence, so she's trying to like bring me along on this. You know, Minnesotans.
It's okay.
I'm getting there.
It's all good. You just
Oh God, it's so awkward.
I
Oh,
just have to ask you both about two standout moments, aside, of course, from the addresses that you both gave, but standout moments that were perhaps unexpected during the convention. You mentioned one of them, Governor. A moment that you shared, that the world shared with your son, Gus. You were speaking, the camera caught him, so incredibly proud of you, so emotional, saying, "That's my dad."
Yeah, I don't know as a father I could have ever imagined that. I'm grateful for so many reasons to be on this ticket, but that moment, to understand what was really important, to have my son feel a sense of pride in me, that I was trying to do the right thing. And it was, you try and protect your kids, it brings notoriety and things, but it was just such a visceral, emotional moment that I'm grateful I got to experience it, and I'm so proud of him. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of Hope. I'm proud of Gwen. She's a wonderful mother, and these are great kids. And I think the one thing is talking about the era we're in is our politics can be better. It can be different. We can show some of these things, and we can have families involved in this. And I hope that I hope people felt that out there, and I hope they hug their kids a little tighter, because you just never know, and life can be kind of hard.
And last question, Madam Vice President, the photograph that has gone viral. You were speaking, one of your grandnieces that you were just talking about was watching you accept the nomination. You didn't explicitly talk about gender or race in your speech, but it obviously means a lot to a lot of people, and that viral picture really says it. What does it mean to you?
I am running because I believe that I am the best person to do this job at this moment, for all Americans, regardless of race and gender. But I did see that photograph, and I was deeply touched by it. And you're right, it's the back of her head, her two little braids, and then I'm in the front of the photograph, obviously speaking. And,
what are you talking about?
It's very humbling. It's very humbling in many ways.
Did she talk to you about it afterwards?
Oh, she had a lot to talk about. She had a lot.
This is it? This is an interview?
And she listens to everything.
Give you your hot takes?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Madam Vice President, Governor Walz, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Dana.
Thank you, God, it's over.
This was Vice President Harris's first real unscripted setting where voters could see and hear her explain some of her policy positions now and how they differ from before she became vice president and why. And this was the first we heard those details about an extraordinary phone call from a president dropping out of the race and endorsing his vice president, something that will certainly go down in history. CNN has also invited both President Trump and Senator J.D. Vance to sit down with us. We hope to bring that interview to you as well. We have plenty of CNN special coverage ahead. I want to go to my friend and colleague, Abby Phillip, who is standing by with some of the best political minds in the business. Abby?
We have them all here. Dana, you've given us a lot to chew on. Our hats off to you. Thank you very much. Stick around, though. We will make sure to come back to you.
Wow. Well, we're not going anywhere, folks. We're going to stick around for just a little bit here. Again, soft, talking about some speech with her niece sitting there, and then Tim Walz's son that was, happy for his father, which I get. That was it? The country's burning to the ground? There's wars happening everywhere. People are dying. Our children and women are being raped and killed. And there's a homeless crisis taking place. There's a fentanyl crisis. And you're going to sit there. Her answer was just blaming Trump for everything. You notice that? But don't worry. We're going to bring back jobs. We're going to sit there and fix things. We're going to put in all these credits. Didn't explain how. Just because you give somebody a credit doesn't mean anything. Okay, first-time home buyers, you get a $25,000 credit, and for those that are having a child for the first time, you get a $6,000 credit. That doesn't do anything. How about you drill, baby, drill, which lowers the cost of gas and fuel and energy, which tends to either stagnate or lower the cost of goods and services. And that would be a nice start, but she can't do that. But don't worry, guys, her values haven't changed. Her values haven't changed one bit, of course, because she's a Marxist. Once a Marxist, always a Marxist, predominantly, unless you're Thomas Sowell. Thomas Sowell used to be a Marxist. He's not any longer. So you saw, I mean, what a shoddy interview that was. God, that was terrible. Really terrible. I want to know what you guys think in the chat. I'm reading it. I'm reading right now. He has the perfect clown face. Absolutely correct. You are not wrong. SleeperNet says, we accomplished nothing. We are even more confused, and I believe dumber having heard this. May God have mercy on their souls. I love that. That is a quote from an Adam Sandler movie. At no point did she ever come to a complete thought. We are all now dumber for having to listen to what she just have to say or said. And at no point did you come to a complete thought. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. Absolutely correct. Love that. Exactly, SleeperNet. We got this. The big one is in what, 11 days, 12 days, the full-on debate between her and Donald Trump. Rambling BS. Johnny, correct. Not impressed. You know, honestly, I thought she was going to come out swinging, so maybe I was wrong. Was I wrong, guys, in the morning? I don't even remember what I said. I know that I think she's going to win the debate. That's what I did say, because the bar is so low for her. But I can't remember what I said. I'll admit if I was wrong. You guys let me know. I can't remember what I said in the podcast. If you guys are just joining us, we had a lot of people watching us today, by the way. We do a podcast every morning, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we go through a lot of news, especially the way he treats his son. Okay. Now, Donnie, to be fair, can we be fair? I don't know if that clip was kind of manipulated or not. So I heard rumors of them talk about it. Actually, I heard it on the radio while I was driving home from work today. So I don't know if he actually treats him the way that I think it's being portrayed, but I haven't seen it, so I don't want to lead it on. But that's kind of what I heard on it used to be called John and Ken show. So I'll have to look into that one. I said the economy policies back in the chat 10 minutes ago. Yeah. Yep. G Miller and your info. Oh, here we go. Oh, they're back. Oh, yeah. We got one, folks. Hold on. Stage 1 clinger. I wish we had a bell button. Stage 1 clinger. Hold on. Hold on, folks. Here we go. Stage 1 clinger. Right here. Where are you, G Miller? And your info is wrong, but we were told by the command, not Taliban, to clean trash and remove graffiti. Get your info right, bud. No, the Taliban told the leadership that it was dirty and you need to clean up trash, which is the same Taliban that we're giving $87 million to every single week, which killed American soldiers. And rather than sending to our veterans, they're the ones that told our command to sit there and clean up the trash. When have you ever heard of an enemy that killed people, beheaded Americans, gutted them where their intestines were pouring out in the middle of the sand, to sit there and tell us to go clean up trash on an airfield that we're about to give them, on top of $1.7 billion plus of military-grade equipment? But this is what they do, you guys. They pretzel their way into thinking. Again, your info is wrong, but we're told by their command, not Taliban, to clean trash and remove graffiti. Get your info right, bud. Why are we cleaning up trash and graffiti as Marines? Why are they not doing it if we're the ones that are giving it to them? Just spent freaking, I don't know, 20 years fighting them, but you're right. Yeah, no, we'll get your facts right, bud. I don't know what facts of mine were wrong, but so is it because I said that it came from the top down, and because it wasn't the Taliban that were peeking through the fence going, "Hey, Marines, can you clean that up? There's a cup over there," and that they just transferred that hierarchy down? Is that are we kind of splitting hairs here? Is that what we're doing? Well, our military cleans all the time. No shit. They clean their gear. We all seen boot camp, but you clearly don't know anything about the military. Who are you voting for? Can we just ask? Who is this guy? What's his name? I love this. I love this. What's the guy's name? G Miller? At G Miller. I don't know if this guy's a subscriber or not. Who are you voting for? Maybe he's a Trump supporter. He just doesn't like the way I'm talking about the military. Just curious. Just curious who you're voting for. Can you let us know in the chat? Maybe he's a Trump supporter and he just doesn't like the way I'm talking about the military. That could be it too. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Jerry's in here. The lady cannot be in office. She is, as Archie Bunker would say, Stifle you dingbat. Oh, absolutely, sir. They'll try to put her in office. I'm guys, she's going to get millions of views. I just love the fact in the interview, if you notice, she goes, well, you know, people are just trying to get to know you. She's been vice president. She was a senator. And also, what is there to get to know? Because usually you vote for the candidate that you know most about to sit there and be a representative of your values of your party. Notice he doesn't answer the question here. Notice he still doesn't answer the question. You guys, you see this all the time, right? With these lefties. You see it all the time, right? Wrong again, buddy. You said Taliban, not command. You lied. Yes, the Taliban did tell our upper people, this is what they do. You can't do it. You just can't do it. G. Miller, who are you voting for? Answer the question. See that question I posed right there? Let's see if they can do it. 5th grade question. Who are you voting for? Command does not equal Taliban. Who are you voting for? We all want to know. There's hundreds of people in here. Who are you voting for? Answer the question. They can't do it, you guys. I mean, how many? Was the 4th day in the row? 4th day in the row that we've had them slip in here. Command does not equal Taliban. Taliban tells command. Command tells Marines. See that linear logic, you guys? They can't do it. It's a remarkable thing. You're seeing this in real time. You're seeing it in real time. I'm waiting for G. Miller to sit there and tell me who he's voting for before I rip him a new one. So we're waiting here, folks. We'll see if they can do it. Over at Rumble, Karen Catmom, there is a new movement called Not With Her, Democrats Not Vote. I saw that movement, Karen. I absolutely did. We're still waiting for him. Again, everybody's wondering. I see you. Everybody's wondering what this guy's doing. Who's he voting for? Oh, white dudes for Harris. Jesus. She was a deciding vote on most of the crap they did. Again, you literally made up a story about where it came, so you can't answer it. It's a phenomenal. He is a bot, yeah. I'm gonna give him one more opportunity, and we'll keep him in here. But yeah, he might actually be a bot, Neil. He might be a bot. Block him. He can't answer. I don't want to block him. Sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of a psycho in here. But I don't know who he's voting for, but he won't admit it. But we'll keep the chat going up there. I kind of like having it there. It's supposed to be on live. My bad. Our military did a lot of rebuilding and cleaning up in Afghanistan, and a lot were murdered for it. Absolutely. A lot were really murdered. I mean, 13 were murdered for it. And it was, by the way, it wasn't just our service members. Remember, when we handed this over to the Taliban, they sat there and started raping women left and right. So we just handed that back to them. I don't think we should have stayed in Afghanistan, by the way. I just want to be clear on that. I don't think we should have stayed there, but there was contingencies. It was conditional on them doing certain things for us to pull out. But I want to just, again, I'm going to keep noting this, you guys. You notice how we ask very simple questions to these lefties and they can't answer it. It truly is a remarkable thing. There are people walking this earth that can't answer who they're voting for because they're ashamed. That's what it comes down to. They're ashamed to be part of the Democrat Party. They are ashamed to sit there and actually say, I'm voting for Kamala Harris. I'm not ashamed to say I'm voting for Trump. I love Trump. Trump's great president. Haha, call you out on your lies, equal bot, got it. No, you just can't answer a question, G. Miller. Still can't answer it. He's listening clearly, he or she, but can't answer it because he's ashamed. He's ashamed that he's part of the Democrat Party, the party of slavery, the party of the Ku Klux Klan, the party of racism, the party of anti-civil rights, the party of abortions, the party of an invasion that's happening at our southern border, the party of high taxes, the party of a bigger and higher government, the party that has a botched fallout of Afghanistan where people are falling from the skies. But he backs all this stuff, probably. I am still waiting to see who he's voting for, as are all of we, but we know he won't do it. He won't admit it because he's embarrassed. As he should be. As he should be. This is a guy that's going to go to the polls. Maybe. We'll see. I'm speculating. And we'll sit there and vote and pencil in Kamala Harris, which will increase your capital gains tax, your unrealized capital gains, by the way, from 0% to 25%. He probably thinks it's a great idea. He's sitting there mincing words about the pullout of Afghanistan, which, you know, he probably thinks went phenomenal. The same guy that probably sits there and enjoys the fentanyl pouring across the border. But notice he won't answer the question. And what you guys will see is Democrats aren't able to answer the questions because they're ashamed. And that's really what it comes down to. So he won't answer it. We'll stop giving him the spotlight because he doesn't have a damn clue what's going on. Similar to the guy that he voted for, probably since his name was Joe Biden. Joey doesn't know what's going on. Kamala Harris doesn't know what's going on. None of the senators that are running the states and localities know what's going on. And by localities, I mean the mayors and the governors. Not a clue. We got Aqua saying the party that put the Japanese Americans in internment camps. Whoa. With the verified. Whoa. Jerry says Trump. Autumn says Kamala never says anything, but has the best lip service on the Cali coast. Oh my goodness. And you know what, Autumn, you put that over there on Rumble. That's why you guys got to go over to Rumble if you're saying certain things. They're going to get us. They're going to get us. I love hanging out with you guys. I love hanging out with you guys. Yeah, this guy doesn't. This guy, let's put him in timeout for a minute. We'll put G Miller in timeout only for 5 minutes until he answers our question. Then if he wants to come back and partake, he can, but he's saying a bunch of nonsense for now. He's upset because I said Taliban told our military to clean up trash. Which they did. Which they did. It's this easy. I'm an independent voting for Trump. Now you try. Oh, hey, Johnny. Shout out to Johnny. Again, actually, Johnny, I want to use this for a second. I did not know this for the longest time. For about 2 years, most of our audience is actually independents. Now, I'm a fiscal conservative, registered Republican, but I love the fact that you came over to our side of the aisle, baby. Thank you so much. And it actually makes sense because Republicans are more in line now with independents and honestly, even old school Democrats, which is why you saw Tulsi Gabbard, as well as RFK Jr., endorse Donald Trump. Because the Democrat Party has gone so far left, like you're seeing from all these psychos coming in lately, that it's unrecognizable. And I really do have this question. Why are they still called the Democrat Party? What is it about that party that's so democratic? I don't know. I mean, that's why they got the name. It was really made famous by Andrew Jackson, and it kind of unraveled from there. But by showing of what they just did with Kamala Harris, they're not about democracy. They're not about looking into what the people actually want and representing the people and putting forth somebody that carries their values. How do we know that? Because they're still trying to wonder what the hell her values are. That's why they're trying to talk to her. I think it speaks for itself. Well, folks, if you don't tune in at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we'd love to have you. We go live tomorrow for a normal podcast, and we'll probably cover all these clips again for you and do a little bit of a highlight reel of Kamala, highlight reel, and kind of break this down. We also have a bunch of other news to cover, so you want to make sure you stick with us. A lot of you are saying, hey, I don't get notifications from YouTube. You guys, YouTube is screwing with us. You saw the service. There's a guy named Dylan over at Rumble, and you guys, I'm telling you, I talk about a lot because he actually is really good at his job. Answers emails quickly, was in here. I didn't even know he was going to be in here trying to support us and help us. Just, can we get another shout out to Dylan in the chat, please, over at Rumble? And heck, why not over at YouTube? He's a big follower. He loves us as well, and we love him just as much. Always a shout out to those that take care of us. He was in here. YouTube's screwing with us, folks. They're shadow banning us. We need to grow over at Rumble. At least go follow me over at Rumble so that when I go live, it actually triggers and tells you that we're going live, and it'll send you a notification because I get it on my watch. So head over there. Shout out to Secret Agent as well. She put something in here. Dan Frockham, no beard, Brad. Oh boy, what is that? What are you guys doing over here? This is the tough thing about having a split chat. Something's going on about a beard and possibly me shaving it. Hold on a second. Where's Dan at? Damn you, Dan. This is, I think, the good Dan, by the way. Oh, here, wait. Oh, here, I see it. Can I do this? Hold on a second. Here's what Dan said. Dan says, I shouldn't even be promoting this. Let's get together and make Brad shave. Who's in? Money talks. I'm kidding. I'm joking. There's old clips of me shaved. You buy my book. Does my book have a beard? No, I have a beard in the book. Anyways, I love hanging out with you. You guys are fun. You guys are a lot of fun. G. Miller joined the military for a free sex change. Oh my God. This is why I can't read the chat when I do the show as much. freaking ruthless. So you guys are way too much. This is the community we have. We have a freaking phenomenal. I can't believe you just said that. I just snorted. I can't believe it. I just. Oh my god. At least you guys know my personality. I really do laugh at everything. It's gotten me in trouble in the past. Oh my god. I can't believe that. I pay $5 a month. You can. What is that all about? What? The Harris administration is restarting the flights for convention. Or restarting the flights for illegal aliens into the U.S. I wouldn't doubt that. Yeah, actually, I don't think they actually ever stopped. I'll donate to keep the beard fund. You guys don't have to donate. Really, really, you guys. That was a joke. I really do mean that. That was a joke. I shouldn't even joke around like that. That really was. I think you had like 20 subs. How long you been following us, Liberty? You've been following us for that long since I had 20 subs? I started watching forever ago. My dog accidentally subscribed me, and I have been watching him since. Wow. Kudos to the dog. Lily B, come on. No. Don't do this. Lily B with $10 donation to keep the beard. I really do mean it, you guys. Thank you, but don't do that. Don't do that. You snorted. Yeah, I did. I'm really trying to hold in the laughter. On hand to God, I really thought it was that funny. We love you, Brad, and we have to save the country. Yeah, we do. We got to get out and vote, you guys. So if grandma needs to be picked up, you pick her up. You pick her up. Again, thank you, Lily B, for the $10. You know you're keeping the lights on. Lily B's been a long time supporter of the Bald Brad Show. No. You guys are pushing the beard fund. God damn it. All right, we're going to end it there because people are going to keep donating. I want them to stop. I love you all. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you for at least having a community here where we can sit through Kamala Harris's shenanigans and crap and BS together. We'll be back here tomorrow, folks. Take care of yourself, Patriots, and have a good night's sleep. God, I'm so sorry. Somebody was sick. It's slipping my mind now. It was Brandy. Brandy was sick, folks. So pray for Brandy. Hopefully she gets better and get a lot of rest, folks. Take care of yourselves. See you later, Patriots.